on our way to prom, you played a song. It was like, this is this is like story of my life.
Yeah, I remember that. What song was it?
I don't know, but it was like some country song.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I know you remember.
Yeah, you
playing it all.
remember.
No.
What is your most frequently used emoji? And if you could start high school all over again, what would you do differently? Okay, so all of those, you can answer. It is. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Young David's Change the Trend podcast. All right. As you can see, we are missing in our hearts members of our cast. Claudia, shout out to Claudia, Maddie, and Molly. We miss you, but we have Jose,
Emma,
Arturo,
there you go. And Emma's our rose among the thorns today. So today we're actually going to talk about a very controversial topic, an epidemic that is sweeping the nation right now because it's springtime, especially for seniors. We're going to talk about senioritis. So I think Arturo, you were kind of like saying before, you were asking what it is, and you wanted to define that for our listeners right there, because I had this, I think, if you've ever been to high school, college, or even elementary school, and you were in that last year, you probably already had it, even though you weren't like high school.
So senioritis basically means like we mentally checked out, like we just starting to get out of here, right? Yeah, I think so.
Do you guys all have it? Is this?
yes.
I don't know. I don't think
I guess.
I mean, yeah, I have for sure.
I guess my class thinks so because I got voted worst case of senioritis for the girls for who's who.
Who got voted for the guys again?
John.
That is so funny. When you say who's who, does everyone get one title? Like there's one thing that everyone.
So multiple people can get multiple categories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you just choose from that whole list of people.
And you just vote who you think fits in category.
For example, biggest friend. That's one of the categories.
Who got that one?
What was it you?
No.
Yeah, it was our third one.
No,
No, it was Jose.
What?
Claudia.
You?
Oh, Claudia.
What? Claudia?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah, there's other
No.
categories like most likely to fall asleep in class.
No,
I
it's-
got
no,
that.
it's-
I can see that.
Which one did I get? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
You got like
Did
best
you get
all
most
around.
athletic?
Oh, he got most
No,
athletic.
Keith got best all.
No, he got most athletic.
I think the.
Oh,
But I think I got
nice.
like the most, like all positive or all around or something.
One of those were Keith. Pretty sure.
Yeah, one of them was
Yeah,
Keith.
Keith was all around.
I think because the flirt one, I think because you guys are so sweet and it just kind of comes off as like flirting boots because you're so like sweet, like it's so funny. I didn't even know that was, I didn't know it was all those categories. I wish they announced that somewhere so I could look at the list and see who's who.
I think there is. Isn't there?
Is there?
They sent it on our Google Classroom for the 7 of us or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can share that here. All right. Well, before we start, maybe we can just kind of give everybody a snapshot. So I have these questions. I like to call them fishbowl questions, like I'm picking them out of a fishbowl because they're spontaneous and they're random. But I think they can get a good picture of where you guys are now and kind of like your interests and everything. So my first question is, what is your most frequently used emoji? It's okay if it's hearts, like for the guys. I think you kind of.
I think mine is like the heart
judge
one. Like not the heart one, but like the
Our eyes.
yeah, the heart eyes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mine's the laughing emoji. I think.
The one
Like
with.
the one with like the things coming out of the eyes, the tears.
Oh
It's like the
yeah,
laughing one,
it's
the
crying,
laughing
laughing
Yeah.
one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, mine's that one, but it's the one where it's like turned sideways.
Yeah,
That's
that's
That
mine,
one,
too.
and then probably. Oh no, the one where it's like it looks like sad eyes. You know, like
Oh,
Yeah.
like puppy dog
yeah,
eyes?
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, I have that one. So, yeah.
So wait, which one are yours?
There you go.
Mine's the same exact as Emma. Oh, sorry. Mine's the same exact same. Sorry.
when you say the heart one, you mean the one with like the heart eyes?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that one. Yeah, that was fine.
You like to send that out to just like everyone.
I mean,
That's everybody.
That's why they voted you. That's funny. All right. Well, let's get started with. Oh, sorry. Next question. Before we go into talking about that topic, the other topic, what is your life theme song? I would say for me, it's like a mix. I really like this is a church Marian hymn. It's "Bring Flowers to the Rarest." It's about bringing flowers to the Blessed Mother. And then my second life theme song is "Can't Stop the Music," Justin Timberlake. Like if you mix those two songs, that's Sister Gianna. It's from Trolls. You guys know that song? Yeah, who knows that song? That song. That's my jam.
I don't know. I really can't think of mine.
I don't think I have one.
I've listened to like so many different songs.
If there was like one, and you were thinking like that song, like that's my song, like that's pick one.
So difficult.
I know Diego likes heavy metal rock. Wait, right? Don't you like?
I think you're thinking of mine.
I think you're thinking me.
You like heavy metal? Are you serious?
That is really-
I didn't know you liked that. I thought you like Lauren Daigle, like mellow.
I do. I'm telling you, I like all different kinds of
Really?
music.
I'm the same way. I listen to all kinds
Everything.
of stuff.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I can't get into heavy metal. I'm sorry.
That's just like how, that's what I
Yeah, I
grew
mean,
up
you grew up- I mean,
listening
yeah.
to. Like
Yeah.
my dad, like since I was like 4,
Yeah.
I always listened to that with him.
For me, it's just like when I'm working out, I like listening to heavy metal.
And when you're driving in your truck.
That too.
All right, nice. And last fishbowl question. If you could start high school all over again, what would you do differently? Or if you could talk to your freshman self again, what would you tell that self of you? Like, if you could give them advice.
I would say, for me personally, I would tell myself to go and hit the books more, because like I know I'm a smart dude. What I kind of regret is not getting like the full knowledge that I wish I could have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been like my freshman year, it was just like jokes. Like we were in class just messing around, and that was literally most of our classes. I mean, I was doing good in school, but I just didn't care to go home and do any of my homework or anything.
Yeah.
So I would just tell myself to study more. That's what I really wanted to do. I really want more knowledge and to be more knowledgeable at least.
Yeah, I would say that for everyone. Like, I think there's nobody who doesn't regret studying more,
Yeah.
even if you're really.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
agree with Jose. I wish I would have like really studied more and like actually applied myself, and also not care what anyone thought about me. Like appearances and everything.
Yeah.
Like I cared so much, but now I realize like it doesn't even matter. And also I wish I would have like put myself out there more. Like I was always afraid like at field day, like all the seniors and everybody, I didn't want to play any games or anything because I was like, oh, they're gonna judge me if I
Yeah.
embarrass myself. But like now I realize who cares? Like just be yourself and have fun while you can.
Do you think do you think that's like a girl's view of like things? Because like the guys use like on field days and stuff like that, like we don't care. We're going out there and having as much fun as possible.
No, yeah, I think it's a girl thing. I think like when you're a freshman, it's hard because like I guess you care what guys think. Like you're trying to like you're in high school now. You're like, oh, I have to act a certain way and look a certain way. But now that I'm a senior, I realize no, like be yourself, because that's who people really want to know. They don't want to know a fake version of you.
Was it up until this year that you realized that, or is it like something you've thought about in the past?
Probably just this year, cause like y'all know me for a while, but I feel like I'm a completely different person at home than I was at school. Like now I'm the same way I am at home and at school. Like there's no difference. But I always tried to be like this other person because I didn't want people to see that I was goofy and like joke would joke around and stuff. But now I don't care because I feel like it's better if people know the true you.
Yeah. And it's like, and you don't want them to think you're like weird when you like come out and you're like really yourself.
Yeah.
But when you are yourself, you make it easier for everyone else to be yourself too. So, tip of the day.
What about you, Arturo?
I would also say the same as you. I wish I like put myself out there more, and also I would like tell myself to like don't take things for granted. Like enjoy the little things, because like I'm gonna be out of here soon. So I wish I would have just like took things more slowly and like really just like appreciated everything
Yeah.
and did everything that I possibly could. So
It's kind of funny though, because it's kind of hard to imagine that because time is relevant. A second is a second, but when you're having fun and things are going well, there's no distract. I mean, there's distractions, but you don't care. Everything's just flowing like how it was back in the day. Time just it went as if, at least the way it looks now, as if it looks like as if it went by way too quickly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. Like it's like like we're around each other like every day, and it's gonna be so weird not being able to see y'all. Like
yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
I've just realized that recently. Like okay, this is it. Like it's really sad.
It is, and like the way I'm taking it is like I'm not even realizing it yet. I'm enjoying every single day. Like I don't know why, but for like past week and a half, I've been more awake than I've ever been throughout like my whole high school career. And it's just like I'm enjoying every day how it's supposed to be enjoyed, but I'm not. I realize that at some point it's not gonna be a uniform everyday kind of thing. So I'm still not even like realizing it.
What about you, Diego?
I think one thing I would go back and tell myself is that a lot of times back in my freshman year, well, really when I was younger, really I got distracted a lot. I didn't focus on a lot of things that mattered, and like back then I focused on a lot of things that didn't matter, and instead of focusing on things that would make a difference to where I am right now, I didn't really worry so much about those things. So definitely just focus on what really matters and getting my head more in the books and just getting it together a little more, Like I wasn't necessarily a bad student, but I could have definitely been a lot better.
Yeah. Great, awesome. Do you think that there's like a transition also between like you and your peers from the time that you started high school and like now? Because from what I observed and like what I know is in my experience, it seems like when you're a freshman, everyone like has their group and they can be like judgy and cliquey and like mean and they can do things that they really didn't mean to do or like regret. But it's like when you're a senior, it's like, oh, everybody's friends, like we're all good. Like do you like kind of like feel like
I mean, I think that has like some like a good point to it, but I think that for our class specifically, we've always been like kind of like close together with everybody.
Yeah.
Like the majority of us have been together for a long time. Like even Diego, he's been here since
8th grade.
8th grade. So when we got to that transition from middle school to high school, there really hasn't been like any changes in our student body. Like I think the most change here was when we had like those 10 extra people, the ones like with Gloria and all of them.
Oh,
yeah, but even then, I think we still were like, I mean, we were always like sitting together like we are now, but
yeah,
we always were like I don't know, just intact with each other. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely still like separate groups, like like the guys have their group, and then like the girls have their group. But like whenever we're together, we all get along.
Yeah.
Like, there's no drama.
That's great.
No.
Yeah, I think that's really special about your class too. That you can all kind of like you all get along and you're all friends. Like I think every class should be like that. Just kind of like see you pass through their differences.
I feel like that's kind of just like, it's kind of like how it is with siblings though, because when you're younger, in your younger years, you kind of fight a lot. Like, as you get older, they become really like your best friends, Like, I don't know what it is, like me and my sister, like, me with my brothers, like, when I was younger, like, we never fought, ever.
Yeah.
Which I'm really thankful for. But with my sister, when we were younger, we would,
You mean Emily?
Yeah, Emily. Yeah, we both had very different opinions. But now, like, we get along really well. But I think that's also because, like, we spend a lot of time together, like driving to school and stuff. Like, she has trust me a lot. And I think that's just part of how we've both matured a lot. And she tells me a lot, which I'm always very happy to help her. So I feel like it's kind of like that. Like, as you grow older, you just get kind of closer and you realize, like, a lot of things you fight about, it's not necessary,
Oh, that's so nice. She's gonna miss you next year. I mean, whoever is with you now, they're gonna miss you if if you're going off and everything. That's a really good analogy. Yeah, you're like one big family. All right, so let me just bring up. Okay, so these are the following symptoms. To know if you have senioritis, if you experience a drop in grades, B, maybe not doing homework or turning it in a little later, C, procrastination, or D, loss of interest in studies, or all of the above, or like a mix of it. So the thing with senioritis is you might know that you're going to pass or graduate in a class. And so you might find out like, oh, I don't have to work as hard as much to achieve that one goal that I was aiming for. But this is what I do want to bring up is that, and now this is gonna be kind of like, this is kind of like edgy, but I truly wholeheartedly believe that it is not the fault of the student. I think that it's the fault of a flawed system in education in America. And I don't blame anyone for feeling that way. Actually, I think it'd be abnormal if you didn't feel that way, because if you were to ask someone, what's the purpose of a high school? What's the point of a high school? Most likely their answer would be, to get into college. And so what happens if you get into college? You're gonna feel like you did it, you made it, like that's it. And so is there more? Is there a greater motivation? And yes, there is. But I think that a lot of our schools and teachers alike are gonna fail us. They're failing us in having us know that education is holistic. It's about the whole person and not just about getting into a college, getting into a good college, getting a good career, just working. No, that's not an end, it's a means to an end. So, for example, okay, let me bring up another quote that my Jesuit friend once brought up. He said that if the fish aren't biting, you can't blame the fish, right? If the fish aren't biting your bait, you can't blame the fish, you have to blame the bait. So I think, this is what I think. I think that senioritis is a call for teachers to be greater innovators and being more creative in their material and teaching. Because if all you think is that high school is just a place where you go to just prepare and get into a good college and that's it, you have no other greater aspiration, then you're limiting yourself because you're created for more. It's not just about that. And a career is very different from a vocation. Like a vocation is a supernatural calling. It's an end. It's not just a means. Well, your first vocation is to love and to be a saint. And that's what everyone should recognize in everything that they do. Otherwise, they're not going to have a lot of motivation to do the little things that they do, right? Like especially like if let's say you really want to give me an example. Like let's say you have an aspiration into sort of career, like a specific career, like
Doctor.
Yeah, let's say you want to be a doctor, and you might be taking like AP Bio, or you might be taking chemistry or anatomy, and let's say that you and you don't have room, or let's say that it's mandatory or it's compulsory to take I don't know, like a course that's different, like not a non-scientific course, like an English course or like a literature course or something that's compulsory and not towards that subject. Like chances are is that if that's your only end goal, you're not going to be motivated to focus on the other studies. And I think that the problem too with the traditional mindset of the school in American education is that it's just a place where you're introduced to certain fields. They just want to make sure there's one place and you're introduced to like this whole cafeteria of subjects like math, science, English, whatever, like gym, physical education,
Electives.
right, and just electives. But what people need to realize is that school is not just a means to prepare you for more compulsory education, but it's a means to give you wisdom and insight to live life to your fullest potential. It's a place where you're supposed to be motivated. It's a place where you're supposed to gain your motivation for life and to answer your calling, to respond and contribute to the world and to humanity. And so I think that I have to say, like, if you make school just a place where it's just about grades and just about sitting down and being quiet and just having someone listen to you for like more than like an hour or 45 minutes, and that's you do most of your day, then that's not a good motivator. I mean, no one's gonna be motivated to want to go to school, but you should want to go to school. I mean, you spend most of your time here, and I mean, right now, and a lot of you are working. I think that's funny. Like a lot of people think, oh, you have to go to college to work and to get, have to get a degree to get a job. You're already working. Like you already have those responsibilities, and you actually learn a lot when you work, right? When you have it. I didn't work in high school, but you learn a lot, like life skills.
I mean, I've been working since I was like 12, and I've learned more working than honestly what I learned in school. 'Cause
See,
it's about the
yeah.
experience. It's the, that's and I think you make a very good point about how this educational system we've had it for over quite a while now, and it hasn't changed in over 100 years. You know, we're still the same students. We're still the same students that sit there, listen to the teacher, ask questions, and whether we want to listen or not, it's been that the whole time. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, we're in a different generation, so it's going to be a little bit different, but it's
Yeah.
still the same concept. You don't have, we don't, like when you try to like rearrange the room and make it more organized, not more organized, but make it more like fluid, it puts a different uh aspect and viewpoint to us because we're so used to like this is the structure, this is how it's supposed to be. Sit down, don't do anything, listen. And with you,
Mhm.
you make a good effort of trying to get us involved. And I mean, look at your room. I mean, the clouds, all the decoration stuff, it just brings a certain like a different alignment to us because we're not used to this. We're just used to like a broad room with a whiteboard and that's it. So makes a very good point.
It's like those Google offices that sister showed us. Remember? They were
Yeah.
so like those kinds of seats and just like it's a completely different environment. Like it's insane. Like having something like that would honestly help get a lot more work done too. It really would.
I think it would just bring out that most important thing in us, which is our imagination and creativeness. Like if we had that if we have a different environment, it brings something else out of us. Like if we go outside right now, sure, it'll bring something different out of us too, because we'll want to wander around and explore. Not just sit here and just see what we could possibly see and not go and explore actually.
Mm-hmm. It just helps us think more, which
Absolutely.
is probably the biggest thing we need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think that imagination is something that really needs to come out, especially as you get older. When you're a kid, it's like it's the biggest factor of your intellect and your mind that drives you, motivates you. But it shouldn't lose its taste, its savor. When you go into the world, you need it even more. I mean, now that you have more reasoning and thinking and knowledge, like that's how we got Google. That's how we got Steve Jobs. His innovations like the
Yeah.
iPad, the iPod, the iCloud, whatever the whatever. Everything.
It's just that giving that person that desire to think, instead of being in a class where they're dreading every bit of it. I mean, me personally, I love the school. There's no disrespect to it, but there's been multiple occasions where I've been sitting there in a desk and I'm just like, I'm tired of it. I can't. And I feel like that's a lot of high schoolers, not just us in particular. That's a lot of high schoolers that sit there and are like, what's the purpose of this? Because it's a commodity. That information you're given, you can go and purchase it in a book. It's all there. You go online. I mean, Elon Musk himself says if you want to learn how to do anything, just go and look on the internet. There's plenty of resources to do it. So knowledge is a commodity. It shouldn't be something. And I mean, there's no disrespect to people who study their whole life and become PhD doctors and all that. I mean, if you can sit there on a certain subject and really enjoy it, I mean, that they have a desire for it. That's why they learn, And for us, for some of us, it's just, why am I learning this? Some of us, everybody's different. Everybody's unique. Some people are innovators. Some people just like to sit down and read a book, So just giving that desire to think it opens up a huge potential in somebody.
Right. And not all learning is created equal. But like you said about knowledge being a commodity, that's the thing. A lot of the teachers what they're saying is very important. It is valuable. It's good information. But it's like, how are you going to convey it? Like, how are you going to get people involved in like hands-on, like practical application and life skills like that? So I totally agree with all of that.
Yeah, because like a lot of the things you're going to need to know, you don't even know when you get out of here.
Yeah.
At least,
Yeah.
think about that.
I wish there's so much I want to tell you guys. Probably I'm gonna tell you in the semester, but like about like having a mortgage on your house and like balancing your checkbook, like that's stuff I wish I knew that someone taught me because I was old enough. I could have been. I mean, like I said, you're working, you have bank accounts, you should know that stuff. Like you should have a life skills class.
Exactly.
We really should.
Yeah.
Like Miss Dabs, like shout out to Miss Dabs.
Yeah,
if
for
you're
real.
listening to this, like one of the things that she does, and in her math classes, like she teaches us a lot of stuff that we're actually gonna like need for later on in college. Like she gave us an example of making boards. I was in Georgia Tech and how we're learning that calculator thing.
Yeah.
Which is something that like this makes me think like I wish there were a lot more like classes instead of like no disrespect to any other subjects, but like English and stuff. Like for example with what I'm going into, like a lot of the stuff that I'm learning right now, like yes, it prepare me for a college, but not necessarily like I'm gonna go to college, but in the route that I'm focusing in, like it's not really helping me with that. So I wish there were more things that are gonna prepare me more for my life, like you said about taxes and stuff like that. Like those are life skills that you're gonna need because like also that's gonna save you a lot of money too.
Absolutely.
Whereas having to like pay an accountant, which is only gonna get more expensive too later on, like that's a lot of money you could be saving right there.
Or even just in general, just like being able to cook and do your own plumbing or just know how to do things yourself, you know.
Yeah.
All right, saved by the bell. The bell. Thank you guys. That was nice. Like, that's just, all right. Well, thank you to all our listeners. God bless you all. Have a good spring. This is the last day before spring break, so have a good spring break. Love you. See you later. Bye.